Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Good Feeling Life. I'm Talia, and today I have something to share that I'm not even sure the entirety of what I'm going to end up going into, but I felt compelled to go live, now without structuring too much what I'm going to talk about because this is just so interesting. So when you read the subject of today, I'm saying what we accept as normal, but the Dalai Lama has never even heard of, is I'm going to tell you a story. So I went to go see Danielle Laporte live last year, and she told this interesting story, which is the prompt to all of this, which was she was at the World Peace Summit, I think the year before or potentially last year. And the Dalai Lama was there, and people were asking the Dalai Lama questions. They had the ability to have like a question and answer. And she was in the audience and she was witnessing this, and somebody asked him, well, asked his translators, but asked him, how do you deal with self-rejection? What's your words about self-rejection? So the translator translated this to him, and he went, I don't know what you're talking about. And the question, again, he was trying to say it in a different way. What is your suggestion, or how do you support people dealing with self-rejection? And again, he went, I don't understand what you're talking about. And so the translator's saying self-hate, self-blame, negative self-talk. And although in Buddhism they are aware of the thoughts, I guess the term self-hate or self-rejection, the Dalai Lama still went, I don't understand. Why would you do that? And as she's telling this story, it was so powerful. So the question was, the question that somebody was asking the Dalai Lama is, how do you deal with self-hate? And he went, I don't even understand. Why would you do that? Why would you hate yourself? Can't compute. That doesn't make sense. And that is such a beautiful thing to think. Imagine if we didn't even know about self-hate, or if that was such a foreign concept that we started to go, why would you even do that? Why would you work against the only team member that you truly have? And I think about this all the time. I think this came to me for a very important reason. But why have we gotten so far from allowing ourselves to be who we truly are, to love ourselves anyways? Why have we gotten so far away that self-love and self-hate are actually things? When, I always think of the most basic of tribes. You think of in Africa, or basically anywhere that isn't westernized in the world. Why, do they deal with self-love versus self-hate versus rejection and all this unworthiness and all this stuff? My guess, and from what I've learned, is they don't deal with it the same way we do. Sure, there may be primitive type sort of fights over like who is the dominant male, or much more like the animal kingdom, like, fights for turf or for tribes or for resources. Yes, there might be that type of thing. But actual self-shame and self-hate and self-rejection, it's almost like we have become so bored with our lives that we have now created these new problems. And this is the case, you see this in lots of other cultures that don't deal with things like diabetes or depression or anxiety because they just don't have the time. It's almost like we over here in the Western world, and Europe and all of that as well, because we've been westernized, we have so many luxuries. We have the luxury of time. We have access to resources. We have everything now. We live in this very quick, instant world. We get paid enough that we have these houses, hi Julie, and these luxuries around us. So it's almost like we've become bored. We have this extra time on our hands, and now we deal with things like jealousy and guilt and shame and all of these things that we didn't used to have when we were living in a more primitive state. So I really want you to think about self-hate, self-rejection, and why we would even do that. Why is that even a thing. And aside from us having just more time on our hands, boredom, I think also that Julie, you agree with the boredom, no survival necessary. Exactly. I also believe that marketing in the Western world dominates everything. Even on Facebook, you're seeing ads, except mine. Those aren't negative marketing. If you see my Facebook ads, they're okay. Just kidding. But we see marketing everywhere. And what is the objective of marketing? What makes a good marketing strategy? What is the whole way in which it operates? It's to make people think that they have a problem, and bam, here's the product for the solution to solve that problem. So whether people are selling lipstick or cigarettes or alcohol or cars or a diet pill or their business, their tax firm, whatever it is, or law firm, whatever it is that they're advertising, the whole purpose of advertising and marketing is here's the problem that you have and here's the solution. So we get the buying person into the state of, oh yeah, I do have that problem. Bam, here's the solution. That's what marketing is. So we are inundated with marketing everywhere we go, from, of course, magazines there's even, advertising on products. There's screens up, in our advertising in storefronts. It's on TV, it's on our phones, it's everywhere is marketing. And so we're very heavily influenced constantly to think you have a problem, you have a problem, you have a problem, which is where I believe a lot of the body image issues and what a woman should be and what a man should be and all the pressures and how we should be successful and businessy and we should have tons of money and drive these crazy cars and have name brand stuff, because we're constantly seeing marketing. And even celebrities, not all of them, because some of them are really in it for the art, but these lifestyle celebrities, they're constantly reminding us that we're not as good as them. We're not as glamorous as they are. We're not as skinny. We're not as whatever it is going on. We're constantly seeing all of this stimulus that's implying that we're not good enough. So to bring it back to what I first came on to say is the thing that the Dalai Lama doesn't even know exists or can't even compute is self-hate, is self-rejection. And I really want you, after you're done watching this video, to just in your life be thinking about, why would we even do that? Why would that be something that we allow into our space? Because I'm going to tell you something, that self-love is the foundation that makes everything else possible. And when we hear that, we kind of go, yeah, that's neat, but I really need to lose weight before I can think about loving my body, or I don't deserve self-love. I don't make enough money. I don't have anybody to love me. I don't live this fancy existence. I don't make the impact that other people are making. So I'm somehow not worth self-love. But I'm going to tell you that if you start with that base of self-love, start with the concept of owning and accepting who you are right now, no matter what, in all of your reactions and all of your choices, in all of the style that you have, in the words that you choose, the friends that you have, the past that you have. If we start accepting you for who you truly are right now, that creates such a vibrational shift that allows more magical things to happen. So, I talk often about the law of attraction and how one of the major things that are missing when people are trying to manifest is that they're starting from a vibrationally low point. And we know from law of attraction that whatever you're trying to call in, whether it's love or health or happiness or money, it's high vibe stuff. We generally don't set intentions and goals to try to manifest low vibe stuff. Low vibe stuff is, is negative feelings, it's negative occurrences, it's debt, it's addiction, it's depression, anxiety. Those are all very low vibe. We're not trying to call in the low vibe stuff. We're trying to call in the high vibe stuff to release the low vibe, right? So in order to call in something high vibe, we need to be operating at a vibration that matches what we're trying to bring in. So again, I want to bring it back to think about, why would we ever hate ourselves? Like, when you take it away from you, because it's easy to go, well, I hate myself because I look like this, or because I've gotten myself into this mess, or because I, whatever it is, you can, pick from whatever you deal with inside. But think back farther. Why would we even deal with this? It creates such a low vibe atmosphere to spend time hating yourself. Then we have all those judgment thoughts, that negative self-talk, the overwhelm, the confusion, the I'm not good enough talk. When we're in a conversation, we're hearing a voice saying, why did you say that? You sounded so stupid. Or look at all these other people. They look so much better than you. We go to a wedding or something and we're looking at all these other women and we think, we should look like that. And look at me. I whatever that talk is. That's what happens when we don't love ourselves, when we're not at least focusing on nurturing self-love, positive self-talk. So that creates a very low vibe environment. And as I'm saying, when we're trying to bring in positive things, I know you're a seeker, I know you're looking for something better. Doesn't mean that the life you're in right now isn't awesome, but we can always keep building. When I'm feeling high vibe and great, it makes me want to reach for the next thing and be even more in line and even more in purpose and make an even bigger impact. So it's nothing about where you are right now, but you're a seeker. You don't want to settle. You want to grow. You want to expand. You want to become the person you know you're meant to be. Even if you don't know what that is, you're wanting to grow and expand. So any moment you spend in self-hate or self-rejection or self-criticism, judgment, shame, guilt, any of those really low vibe thoughts, they are blocking you from creating the life you want. So if you feel like you want a bunch of stuff, whether it's physical things or it's happiness, health, all of that, whether it's tangible or more emotional, you need to be resting in a fairly high vibe place most of the time. And part of that is learning to just love yourself. I am what I am and it's perfect. I am what I am and it's perfect. I am what I am and it's perfect. And the more you say that, the more you start to believe it, the more it allows you to deal with things in a whole new way. It allows you to not have to cope so much with drugs or alcohol or gossip or other negativity. Often we get involved in negativity, whether, like I say, it's gossip or just the way we talk to ourselves, because it matches the vibration that we feel inside. So the people that sit around talking about other people all the time and criticizing everyone and complaining, it's not that it's right or wrong, it's just that it's matching the vibration of what they feel inside. So as we start to say, I am what I am and it's perfect, I am what I am and it's perfect in all my choices, in all the things I've done and the things I haven't done and the things that I have chosen, whether they've worked out well or not, that is what it is. I made the best choice at the time, or I'm learning more now. I'm always getting better. I can always heal the past, no matter what has happened, no matter what I've done. I am what I am and it's perfect, and I show up as me. That's the only way that I know how to show up. If I'm trying to show up like somebody else, there's that quote about I'd rather show up as me rather than a second-rate version of somebody else, something like that. We cannot become somebody else. You cannot become that celebrity or that colleague that you admire or that friend that you're trying to emulate. You can be inspired by them. You can pull from their beauty and their compassion and their outgoingness and the impact that they maybe make in the world. You can be inspired by these people and have someone that you look to for support and inspiration, but you cannot be them. It wouldn't work. Every tree in the forest is unique. All the branches come at different times and it's all perfect. Collectively, it makes a forest that serves the function that it's meant to serve, and that's what you need to do. Thank you, Melissa, for the heart. You, Melissa, you need to show up as who you are. Julie, you need to show up as who you truly are. And keep doing that. And in both of you, I see that you're doing that. I see the real you. I see the real you emerging and shining. And that's all we need to consistently do, is show up as who we are. Because if the Dalai Lama doesn't even know what self-hate is and goes, why would you even do that? that we need to learn from that. We need to learn from the peaceful path, which is the way of loving the self. Whatever shape and form you came out as, you were a perfect baby and no one judged you for being 8 pounds 2 ounces or 7 pounds 3 ounces or brown hair or bald or blonde or whatever. You know, nobody judged you. It was just, what a blessing, what a miracle that you are here in the world. And that's the way that we still look at you. And as soon as you get on board with that, everything shifts around you. Melissa, I'm glad that this is what you needed today. I feel shaky inside because this message is so important, and it's so important for you. It's so important for us. Is remember that when you were born, it wasn't like, oh, she's too short, or she's not smart enough, or she's, you know, whatever it is, criticizing you for your weight or your height or whatever. It was the most basic of times, and everybody was just proud and immersed in the blessing of what you are. And the only thing that changed is over time you learned, you perceived that you weren't good enough. And that's bullshit. It's not even true. Who you are, your true light, your true capacity to heal and help others and live as you're meant to live is only gonna come from you embracing who you are. So if that feels hard, or that feels scary, or that feels like a big leap, it is, and that's okay too. You're allowed to be scared, you're allowed to be nervous, but tell yourself over and over, I want you obsessed with, I am what I am and it's perfect. Or if there's other words that resonate more deeply with you, use that. I am what I am and it's perfect. Because if the Dalai Lama doesn't even know what self-hate is, we shouldn't either. And the way that you look at a friend or your sister or your kids or your loved ones, that's the way you need to look at yourself, with compassion and grace and tolerance and patience and this sort of enamored look of you're doing your best and you're always learning and you're getting better and you're rising, and I'm just proud of you for being you. And that's what you need to cultivate today. So I hope that this video touched your heart and influenced your mind to think a little bit different, to take self-love to another level, to get gritty with it, to hear I am what I am and it's perfect as much as humanly possible. And that will shift your vibration into a place where things work easier. You'll start looking in the mirror and hearing a little voice going, ooh, you look nice today, instead of whatever the voice says, that you can never look good enough, or there's always something to pick apart, or, you know, you'll do something at work or, you know, in your life, and you'll hear a little voice saying, good job, all right, instead of you could have done better, or you should have done it faster, or whatever the voice says. So watch as you start to say, I am what I am and it's perfect. I am what I am and it's fucking perfect. I am a fucking work of art. I am perfect. It's not conceited. It's not self-righteous. It's not selfish. It's our basic human right. And it's what we need to be living in all the time in order to start unlocking the magic. Because you will unlock the magic through this path. You will unlock your full potential. You will unlock everything that you're meant to be. You will grow mind-blowing amounts from one year to the next, from 1 month to the next, just by starting with I am what I am and it's perfect. And honoring, do I feel like going out tonight or not? Do I feel like reading or not? Do I feel like going to school or not? Do I feel like dyeing my hair or not? Who cares? You are what you are and it's perfect. So just choose what lights you up and watch how everything around you starts to change. I love you so much. Thank you for joining me today, and never forget that you are what you are and it's perfect. Love you.